Mhm. Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah, hi, Vira. Good morning.
So I think people had to join. So we start in 2 minutes. Okay. Let's get started now. Yeah, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So the first DevOps tool. Git. Okay. So Git is a, I'm audible?
Yeah, yes, we are
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah, thanks. So this tool is very, very important tool, first of all. So our DevOps journey will start from this Git tool only. And developer's journey ends at Git tool only. So developers journey will ends means what? Once development and all, whatever the development task for the application, once testing and everything is completed in their local missions, so developers will push the code into GitHub. So from the GitHub till deployment to where? Anywhere, maybe Azure Cloud, AWS Cloud, GCP Cloud, or on-premises systems, whatever. But anyway, we have to integrate our system with to GitHub and process our life cycle and start our life cycle, DevOps life cycle from the Git. So this is official day one for DevOps. So here we can plan to understand what is Git, what are the challenges in the Git. Okay. So I will take every day, maybe like 1.5 hours like that. So we have to complete. We have so much of content need to discuss here. In that case, I need to extend some 15 minutes or 20 minutes every day. Like I will take for 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 15 minutes like that. So first we need to understand what is Git. So for example, let me take it. Yeah. Okay, just understand Git is a version control tool. Git is a version control tool. So it will track all the changes. Okay. The simple statement I can give, Git is a version tool, open source, third party tool. It is an open source third party tool. Okay. Yeah. If there is no Git, guys, for example, if there is no Git, if there is no Git, so if there is no Git, if two developers are working with, so here the two developers are there. So two developers are working with same application development, same application development. And definitely two developers are working with same project means they are exchanging their codes. They will exchange their code. See, this is my syntax, this is your syntax, and like that. So finally, they need to implement one common application as per the client requirement. In this case, the final application deployment. So for example, today I have written the code for 30 lines and my developer written for 20 lines. So both lines, if I combine, one logic will form, that one function will form. So we can deploy this code and deploy into any server. So we can show to client, say this is the development for today. So how is it? Is there any modifications like that? We can ask, right? So here, if there is no Git, guys, if there is no Git, my code always there in my local laptop, and my colleague code also there always in the local laptop. So both laptops are different. If I'm not available for example, any emergency, if I'm not available for 10 days or 1 week, so definitely this developer two and there is a blocker. There is a blocker. The reason the code is in developer one mission. So collect the code is very difficult. The reason this is local laptops, not centrally storage devices to collect, to connect and collect. So what is a good practice in this case? The good practice is whenever the developer one developed some task, if he test if it is working fine, he need to update some common repository. Okay. And next developer collect this code and start his work, add his work on top of this code. And again, he push here and this developer take this code and add his changes on top of that. It is the same code or different code, same repository, same file or a different file. See here, this is the GitHub. Okay, this is the GitHub. Now what we can understand, the GitHub is a centrally storage. Okay, GitHub is centrally storage system. So anytime, okay, anytime. So anytime anyone can access in the team if they're having access. For example, so today my task completed. Simply I can push my code into GitHub. After that, this guy need to pull this code into in his laptop. Again, he can push the changes and again he can pull the changes. So we are exchanging. So they're exchanging their code every day, what they have achieved the respective day. So in this case, for example, today my task is done. I have pushed my code into GitHub. If this system may corrupt or he is not available, no issue. There is no blocker for developer too. He can already push into GitHub. He can take the code from GitHub. So finally, GitHub is a common platform to the developers and entire team. Okay. So in this case, the GitHub is providing some remote storage. So in this case, by using the Git, we can connect from anywhere. We can push our code. We can start our practice. Okay. So Git is a distribution version control system. Git provides distribution version control system. What is version control system? So, okay, let me understand what is version control system. Okay, so what is version control system? So, for example, the same example, if I take this developer, okay, this developer already pushed the code. This developer already pushed the code into GitHub. But these changes, as I expected, these changes are not good. In this case, so Git is a version control system means first update, second update, third update, fourth update, like that every update we can, we can take from the, let's wait. Yeah. So every update I can take, every update Git can track. For example, this is push 1, push 2, push 3, push 4 means first update. After that, I have added some updates. After that, I have added some updates. After that, I have added some updates. For example, if these changes are not good, no need to worry about that. We can move to existing version. This is working fine, right? You can discard these changes and go to the existing version. So like that, every push, Git will track the changes with commit ID. So what we can understand, for example, now I push 2 lines. It is a working fine my code. And next time I have developed something on top of that. Again, I push. Okay, here 4 lines. And again, after developed, I push. Now 6 lines. In these 2 lines, something is wrong. Again, you can move to 4th lines. I mean, previous version. So each version we can track the changes and okay, and we can change our version. Like you can change our commits. So recent commit, if it is everything is good, we can stick on that, or we can discard the changes and go to previous version. So every push, Git will track with the local and remote. Okay. So let me show you how the Git will work first. So Git distribution system. Version control. Okay. So we have a 2 type of version controls, guys. One is centralized version control and one is distributed version control system. But always we are working with the distributed version control system only. The reason centralized version control system, there is no any local repository backup. If the code is, if you can lose any code, lost any code in the working copy. So here we don't have any, take a backup. So we don't have any different resource here. That's what we'll go with, only distribution version control system. So Git will provide distribution version control system only. Let me take the image here. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. So if you can see, let me copy from here into my paint. Okay. So finally, the Git workflow, if you can see the Git workflow, if you can see, we have a total 3 stages, guys. Git workflow, we have a total 3 stages. The first stage is working copy, where we can develop the code. So working copy, where we can develop the code, that is working copy. And next one is local repository. And last one is remote repository. Here, remote repository means GitHub. Okay, remote repository means GitHub. So Git workflow, we have a 3 stages totally. One is working copy, local repository, and remote repository. Okay, all are good now. So we need to understand what is working copy, what is local repository, what is remote repository. So let's come to directly lab so that we'll get a better clarity. So I'm going to create a folder here. So Git day 1. Okay. So, and coming to the installation part, so we can install the Git in local machine, I mean, Windows and Linux also. So we can understand first Windows, how it will work. Okay. So here, Git download. Yeah. If you can check here, Linux, Windows, Mac OS. So we can download Windows. I'm practicing in Windows, right? If you click on here, so you can install any installer, 32-bit Windows setup, 64-bit Windows setup, or portable, whatever you can download here. So better you can take 64-bit if your machines will support. If you click on this, so Git will install in your local. After that, just open and click yes, 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 it will install. That's it only. So once Git will install into your local, go to search, give Git here. See, you are able to see Git bash and Git GUI in your local. Okay, fine now. So how to open the Git? So simply, if you can come. So if you want to develop your code, definitely you need to get one project into your local and start your development, right? So this is my development folder, day one. So I'm going to develop my code in this folder only. So you can create a folder in C drive, D drive, wherever, whatever. So and start the process from your directory. So this is my directory now. And here, how to open the Git terminal? Simply you can just simply you can right click here and go to show more options. Open Git bash here. Like this, you need to open. Okay, you are in the G drive Git day one. Okay, and now you can start your process in this local directory. So we can focus today entirely on local repository and working copy. And tomorrow we can understand what is GitHub and all. So Git will give you a version control, right? It's a version control system. It will give you versions of your whatever changes you are going to update. So how to start our Git first? So today onwards, you will get enter running nodes, all DevOps tools like this. Let me open Git here. Yeah. Okay. So as the statement, as we discussed, Git is a free and open source distribution version control system designed to handle everything from the small to very large projects with speed and efficiency. Okay. The installation of Git. So you can install in the Windows or Linux. And for the Linux, install git -y. Okay. After completing installation, so you have to check the Git version. So my end is installed. So I have opened already directory. So and you need to configure this too. Okay, the first one is if you want to make this repository, what you have created Git day one, if you want to give a Git control, you need to run a Git init command first. Whenever you run Git init only, Git folder will be created inside your project. So Git will start the tracking. For example, touch file one. So I have created a touch file one. So all Linux commands will work in the Git terminal. Yeah, if you can see, file one is created by using Linux command. So Git bash will support all Linux commands, 99%. So now, okay, now Git will track the changes, right? Git will track the changes means, for example, I have created just file one. And again, I'm going to add some content into the file one. So the content we know, right? VI editor we can use, and here give welcome something. Insert welcome something. Okay. So cat file one. Sorry, cat file one. So welcome is there. So here there is a one important command in git status to check where the file is located in working directory or staging array, whatever. If I give here, see the error is it is not a Git repository. So Git commands will not run here. Only Linux commands will run. If you want to run any Git commands here, you need to initialize this repository as a Git repository so that I can track the changes. This is the meaning here. In this case, what you need to do? So you need to give a git init command. Okay, let me delete everything first. So nothing is there my end. So this repository git day one, I'm going to hand over to Git now. How to hand over? Git init command. Whenever you can run a git init command, see .git folder is created. This .git folder, this .git will track in this repository any changes will be happen. Okay. Without dot git, if you do any changes, Git will not track those changes. Once you install the Git, once you run the initialize Git init only, Git will start the changes, whatever changes if you are going to add in your local working copy. So this is working copy. So if you can see our, the stages, first one is working copy where we can start your process. Okay, we are here now. And now the very important commands are global integrations. So the first time if you're working with Git, you need to run these two commands, global configurations. So you need to inform to Git your mail ID and your name. Let Git knows your name and mail ID. In this case, the command you need to run git config -c git config. So git config -global and give here git config -global here. For example, user dot name. See, my name already configured with Git. Same thing, user dot email. Okay, my mail ID also configured with Git. In your end also, first you need to configure your details globally. Okay, then only Git will allow to work. In this case, how to run the command? Git config global username. Here you can give your name, same like this. Okay. So you give your name like this, whatever name you want to give. So git config -global user dot name, give your name or something. So your name will be configured now. Same thing you have to give email also, user dot email and give space and give your mail ID like this. Done. So if you want to verify, now you can give, see, I'm able to see my mail ID. Check your name also, configured name, my name also. If you want to change the name, space, give the again name. Again, remove the name and check. So once this configuration done, only you are able to work with Git. Okay. The first very important step is configure your global variables, globally with your name and email. This is only one-time job. Enter Git. If you are new with Git, this is only one time. Next time onwards, no need to give any global configuration, name and email. But every time, one thing you need to understand here, if you create a new directory, don't forget to run Git init. Even though once you run any Git command, it will inform clearly. We need to run Git initialize command so that only we can track everything we can track. So like that, it can answer. Okay. Clear the screen, Linux command only. So now ls, my end, nothing is there. If I give ls, I'm unable to see .git file. See here. But if I give la, I can see .git. ls-la command showed hidden files and normal files. ls can show only normal files. Okay. So now this is the git initialized repository. The reason I ran git init. So the first command, what I'm going to do now, first I'm going to create a working copy. So working directory already created. Inside I'm going to develop a one code. The code, for example, vi app.py. This is my code. Okay. Let me take sample code from here. This is my code, for example. Copy. Yeah. va app.py or cat. Just give here. Paste here. Control C. So cat, you can give v editor or same like this also. So now my Git already started tracking of your code. Okay, where is my code? So if you can check the status command, Git status command. Okay, your app.py is still working copy, but if you want to add this app.py, you need to add the file and commit the file. So I will tell you what is add, what is commit. So simple logic here, what you need to understand. Okay, so in this working copy, I have created a file app.py. Okay, app.py. So finally, what you need to do, this app.py, this app.py. Yeah, so I have added in my working copy. So I have tested this code is looks good for me. Okay, then I can push this code into GitHub repository. If I maintain this code in my local, my something is maybe if there is any problem with my laptop or if I'm not available tomorrow, so no one can access this code. Better if I achieve something, immediately I can push my code into GitHub. So GitHub is here. Sorry. Let me remove. Okay, I need to write here. Working copy is here only. Okay, so now, yeah, I have tested. So working copy means my local laptop only. See, app.py is still there in my local laptop. How can I say? If you go, see app.py is there in my local laptop in G drive. But this, if I maintain this code in my local laptop, no one can access, right? So I need to push this code into any remote repository so everyone can access. In this case, what I need to do, I need to push this code into remote repository. This is called GitHub. Okay, this is called GitHub. Okay, okay. But how to push the code? How to push the code? Here we need to understand one very important thing. Okay, here we need to understand very important thing. So if you want to push your code, first you need to add local repository. So your GitHub always compare with your local repository and it will add on top of the your changes. For example, app.py is there. Inside 5 lines are there. Once you push this code into local repository, and from here only we can push the code into GitHub remote repository. Okay, so GitHub verify the changes with local repository. Always it will give the information you are up to date or not. Your remote repository and local repository up to date or not. Your remote repository always verify with local repository. Okay, in this case, if you want to push my code into GitHub, it is not possible to push directly. This is not centralized control system. This is distributed version control system. Distributed version control system, we have a local repository option. So first, any changes is there, any file you have created, first you need to move to local repository and local repository to remote repository. This is the workflow. So here in my working copy, if you want to add into local repository, you need to add the file into staging area. So let me write the stages here now. Okay. So the first one is working copy. The first one is working copy. Okay. Here my app.py is there. And finally, this app.py, I need to push into my GitHub remote repository. So here is the GitHub remote repository. Okay, here is my GitHub remote repository. So here is my GitHub remote repository. So if you want to add this app.py, so this is not possible to add directly remote repository. So if you push directly, your remote repository will not compare with working copy. There is no option to compare directly your remote repository, you are up to date or not. So always remote repository verify with your local repository. This is local repository. So local repository is nothing but ready to push. So whatever changes are there in the local repository, so you need to push it into remote repository. Okay. So my app.py here means you need to push app.py here now. So how to push? We can use git push command here to here. Okay. And now how to add the file app.py to local repository. So we have a in between one more area. This is staging area. This is staging area. Okay. This is staging area. Okay. So if you want to add any file into local repository, first you need to add staging area and staging area to local repository. Okay. So working copy to staging area to local repository to remote repository. This is the entire Git workflow. So we can discuss here how to add file into staging area. So we can run git add command, git add and a file name, which file you want to add. And after adding the staging area, how to add into local repository here, git commit. The command is git commit hyphen, okay, git commit hyphen m. You can give some message. So git commit is a message. So git commit is a command to add your file staging area to local repository. And finally, git push. So every day you need to run these three commands. So if you are practicing or if you're doing any project, so these three commands are common everyday task. Okay. So why staging area? So why staging area is nothing but, for example, working copy. So if you can see my app.py is there. If I create here file 1, file 2, file 3, like this. If you can check ls, my app.py is there, file 1 is there, file 2 is there, file 3 is there. But I want to push only app.py, not file 1, file 2, file 3. So whatever file you are going to push into remote repository, you can add same file only into the staging area. Otherwise, all files will move to staging area. Sorry. If we don't have any staging area, for example, just understand there is no any staging area. If you commit means all files will move to local repository. All files move means definitely you need to push all files only, not only one file. In this case, how to control this problem? See, my end is so many files are there, but I want to push only required file only. Required file only if you want to push. So definitely we have a staging area here. Whatever file you are going to push, you just add that file into staging area only. So now if you add staging area of the file, staging area into the app.py and remaining files are there in the working copy, whatever file you are added into staging area, you will process the same file into local repository and remote repository. Only app.py will move, remaining all files we can see in the working copy only. The staging area is nothing but ready to add into local repository. Local repository is nothing but ready to add remote repository. So this is the workflow. So to add a file, staging area, git add, to commit into local repository, git commit, to push the file into remote repository, git push. These three commands are very important. Anyway, we learn 20 more commands, the entire git process. So till here, any questions? Working
No
copy,
questions,
staging.
sir.
What about others?
No questions, sir.
Okay. I think you guys are aware of the git, right? Most of the people. My understanding is right. Can you please respond? Anyone new to Git? So everyone knows Git.
No, Vera, I'm new.
Okay, Umesh. Only Umesh and any others are new to Git?
I'm not new to Git, but I'm just aware of it.
Okay, okay. No problem. Yeah, so let's start the practice now. Okay, we know something. Okay, what is working copy? What is staging area? What is local repository and remote repository? Okay, anyway, no problem. So let's understand now. LS. So my end, total 4 files are there. Okay, total 4 files are there. So now I want to push only app.py. I want to push only app.py, not for file 1, file 2, file 3. Whatever file you are going to push, that file only you can add into the staging area. Ready to commit, ready to local, ready to push. Okay. So now the first command is check the Git status to understand what are the files are there in my working copy. At this time, all files are there in your working copy only. That's what red indicates. No file is in staging area. So if you want to push any file, you need to be add into staging area. See, nothing added to commit. Commit means if you add this file into staging area, we are ready to commit. So nothing added to commit, but untracked files are present. Use git add to add the file. Whenever you can add git add a file, that file will be added into staging area. If you add the file into staging area, definitely you need to commit the file into local repository. After that, push the file into remote repository. This is the cycle. This is the life cycle. Okay, let me add the file. How to add what is the command to add the file into staging area? Git add command. For example, if I want to add only app.py, git add app.py.
File name.
Okay, see working copy app.py. So now you can give again git status command. If you can see my end, total 4 files are there. But if you can see one file only I have added into staging area. See app.py only staging area. Definitely if I commit now, git commit command, only this file will be moved into local repository. These 3 files are not tracking files. These 3 are not entered into the staging area. So these 3 files will not add into local repository. These 3 files will not push to GitHub remote repository. Whatever file you are adding into staging area only, that file only will go to remote repository. Okay. So git status means we can see it is a green color indicates means the file is already added into the staging area. See, before that, app.py is the only working copy, untracked file now. Whenever you can add git add command, so it is tracking. App.py is now under git tracking. So if you add this file into staging area, Git can understand, okay, user is added one file into staging area means user want to push this file into remote repository, not for all files. Okay. Now, if you can see this, see, working copy to staging area, I have added here. Now my app.py is here. But here, all files are there in the working copy. App.py, file 1, file 2, file 3. But I'm going to add only app.py, not for all the files. In this case, I ran command git add app.py or git add file 1, whatever. Now, if you can see here, yeah, my app.py is added into staging area. Now next command is what? If I want to push this app.py into remote repository, definitely I need to be added this file into local repository. Yes, you can see this. So now your file is here only. But if you want to push this file, again, you need to add into local repository. How to add? By using git commit. Let's come now, understand now. Okay, git commit -m give message app.py updates. So this message is mandatory, not a optional. Git commit -m indicates message. Why -m is required? See, we need to understand which file updates this is. For understanding purpose, we need to give the -m. Any message you can give. App.py updates, your code updates, whatever, for better tracking purpose. For example, my app.py updates, if I can give. So simply I can check the history of the commits by seeing this message. Okay, this commit I have done right at the time. You can easily understand. Okay, enter. So git commit -m. So which file is going to added into local repository? Which file is there into staging area only? So git commit -m, there is no any file name, guys. If you observe here, git commit -m, there is no any file name here. Then how Git can understand which file can add into local repository? Whatever file is there in the staging area, only that file can be added into local repository. So you need only this file. That's what you have added git add app.py only. Now inside my local repository, git app.py I have added. Okay. So how to check this app.py is added into my local repository? Give the command git log. If you run git log command, we can see my commit. Okay. So your git log command, if you can see, there is a commit what you ran the command git commit command. So this commit details we can see here. See 2019 IST. I committed one app.py file. This is the message app.py updates. See here, I have given this message. So I'm able to see here now. Okay, this is the commit history. Okay, now if you want to push this file into remote repository, you need to run git push. Okay, you need to run git push. So guys, here we need to understand very important thing. Git push means which GitHub repository. So you have to create a first GitHub and configure your account, create one account and configure this local repository with remote repository. Then if you can give git push only, it will push it into your remote repository. My end, I have already Git account. So I have already multiple repositories. But you need to understand one very important thing. I have started my development from local only. Okay. But in general, the work will start from GitHub. How? See, you will get a clarity now. Okay. So this is my complete GitHub account. Inside my end, so many repositories are there. So definitely in any company, if you want to start your work, already existing repositories are there for your company. You need to work with that repository. Or if repository are not there, first you can come here, create a repository by clicking new here. And here you need to write a repository name, project, whatever project name you can give here. And come here. We have a two kind of, descriptions. One is public, one is private. If you give public, everyone can take this repository, clone this repository, read this repository, but not write. Read this repository. Private means no one can even read the repository. Read the repository. Okay, let's understand with public. We can see the private later. Okay, so just create. At this time, leave it. What is git ignore? What is readme.file? We can discuss later. So I'm creating a project one repository in the directly GitHub, and if you can see, this is my repository, project one. Inside nothing is there, right? How to start the process? Okay, with the GitHub remote repository. So just come to here, click on the project one. So take this URL, okay, and clone it into local repository and start your work on the repository. But here I haven't cloned any repository. I have started my own changes from local to remote. See, if you start your work local to remote, system don't know where to send these changes. But if you clone fast, if you start the updates on the same repository, if you can push, system understand this is already remote repository you clone. So simply you are able to push the code into remote repository. Anyway, starting from your local is not a good practice. But even though you can push your changes, how to push the changes means by using git remote add. So by using this command, you can directly push, okay, destinations. Now your git don't know the destination where I can push this code. See, if you can see this for, let's suppose this is your GitHub account. Okay, in your GitHub account, I can see multiple repositories. Which repository I want to send my changes, even though git don't know, right? So whenever you run git remote add and name of the repository and URL of the repository, if you can give, okay, system can add a target, then you can give the git push command. Automatically, it will push it into the whatever remote add name you have given and URL you have given. Like this, it will work. So in this case, what you need to do, first you need to start the process from the git clone. Okay, so let's understand now. Git clone. Okay, these are local files, but you can push the file from here to here also, no problem. Let me run the command git remote add the name of the repository. Let's go. So for example, here you need to create before repository where that code is going to be pushed. So if you can say this is my remote repository, here only that code is need to be pushed. In this case, you need to give the name of the repository. Okay, my repository name is what? Project one, and give URL of the GitHub remote repository. Okay, project one. Okay, and URL of the GitHub remote repository. You can give SSH or HTTPS. HTTPS. I will discuss what these two. Okay. So added means now Git can understand, okay, this file need to be pushed into this repository and this GitHub account. Okay, I can understand. Now you can give git push. Now there is a clear target for Git. Okay, I need to push these changes into this repository, this GitHub account. Okay. Now if you run, again challenges. The challenges are, you need to understand one thing. If you start your journey, Git journey from local to remote, whenever you can create a Git from the local, the branch name is master. Okay. And whenever you can, if you create any repository in the remote, the branch name is main, not for master. The branch name is main. So both branches are different. If the both branches are different, you are unable to push the changes into remote repository. See here, git push set upstream project one master. So if you run this command, this project one already there in main branch. Whenever you can run this command, the remote can See, added master. Now you can go and check. Refresh here. See, master branch created and push these changes. Now you can see app.py. This is my code. So this is local to remote. Local to remote practice, you need to be do like that only. For example, simple logic here. Okay, simple process here. In real time, how to do it? Let's delete this git day one. Let's delete this git day one. Okay, anyway, create one more file here. Git day two like this. Okay, and open this git day two. Sorry, not a file folder. Directly open git bash. Try to understand, yes, what I'm trying to say here. Now, I have joined my team recently. Okay, so I had a call with my senior colleague. So where I need to work. So he told me that you need to work on this remote repository. Okay, which remote repository? So this is our GitHub account, company GitHub account. You need to be work with this repository. Okay, what I need to do? So inside app.py is there. This code is not working properly. So something is missing. Please look on this code and do some changes and update me. Okay. Now our first task is check here. Okay. Remote repository. First, you need to run git to clone command. Okay. I'm doing from SSH. I will tell you what is SSH and HTTP later. Okay. This is the GitHub URL. Simply, I can come here. You need to run git to clone command. The git to clone command is nothing but take the entire code from remote to local. See, taking one copy, cloning into project one. See, if I give ls now, this is the project is there in my remote. Now this project is there in your local laptop also. So this is not move. Here also same project will be there. Here also same project will be. It is a copy. Cloning is nothing but copy to local. Okay. Now, as my senior suggestions, so you have to go to first project by using cd command. Now here. Now you are here. Okay, app.py. Okay, what I need to do, open app.py. Okay, here something is missing. Whatever the changes, I'm saying that. Here, one curly brace is missing. That's what we are getting some error. You just added some curly brace. Okay, and WQ. Enter the file. Now, if I give git status, command, see, app.py is modified. Git is tracking. You have added some content, right? Just no, some curly bracket you have added, right? So Git is tracking. Okay, in your code is not. In your code there is a changes. You have modified those changes. So when I do changes, the changes is required for me. That's what I did some changes. If you do some changes, definitely you need to push those changes into GitHub remote repository, right? In this case, what system is saying that you have modified something in your code. So to track those changes, you need to be added into staging area. You need to be added into local repository. And finally, you need to be push it into the remote repository. So in my code, if you can see, I have added curly brace in the last. Okay. If you can see here, there is no curly brace here. Okay. I'm going to push the changes into remote repository. Okay. In this case, is this possible to push directly from here to here? It is not possible. So what you need to do? So you are taking the code from here only now by using git clone command. And again, you are adding some changes. Again, you are going to push the changes. Okay. In this case, whenever you can run the clone command, the changes will come through local repository and working copy. So in this case, My working copy app.py is there. I have added something here, +1. Some changes I have added, but those changes are not there in the remote repository, right? You need to push those changes into remote repository so that others can understand this is updated code. But changes are there in your local only. So what you need to do first, run git add command, then commit, then push. Okay, let's come now understand now. Okay, modified app.py. So, okay, run git add command and give the app.py. Now you can check git status. See, app.py is there in staging area. Staging area means ready to add into local repository. How to add? Git commit -m. Give the message here. App.py updates. Okay. Now you can push your code. See guys, here is very clear understanding. If I clone my repository, this repository, if I clone means this repository, I'm cloning from here into local, right? And after that, I have added some updates. And after that, I have added into local repository. After that, simply I can give git push. I'm able to push the changes into remote repository. The system is not asking add URL, add username, and all. The reason you are already in the remote repository. You are already in the remote repository. So you have cloned the remote repository. Now you are going to push the changes into same remote repository. So you are in the remote repository. See project 1. So system can understand if the push means this changes is going to update into the same project only. But before case, there is no any remote repository. If you give push, where I need to push these changes, you have started your project from local. But if you started your practice from the remote repository, system can understand changes will be pushed same repository. That's what you are not asking. So in the real time, we need to follow the same process only. You are not supposed to start your process from local. If you start, you need to add URL, add your username where you need to push these changes. Okay. Now if you can come, you can refresh this. See, this is updated. Now, other developer end, what they need to do? Okay, some updates are in the remote repository. First, they need to pull the changes. Git to pull, git to clone. What is the difference? See, my end already remote repository is there, right? If I give git to pull here, if is there any changes in the remote repository, those changes will be updated my working copy. Already up to date, no changes. Those changes I push from my working copy. That's what already up to date. So what is the difference between git pull and git clone? Git clone is to clone entire repository. Now you are sync with remote repository. So no need to run again git clone, give git pull. Only changes will be appended in your project. Okay. Now, for example, new person has joined today. In his end, there is no any remote repository in his local laptop. So he has to be run git clone first, not git pull. Whenever he ran the git clone, this remote repository will update in his local repository. Now he is up to date with remote repository. If he want to add any changes, he can add, commit, and push. Same process will start here. Okay, this is just understanding very high level. The commands git pull, git push, git clone, git add, git commit, git status. Any questions? Now you can ask. Over to you. So try to understand. This is day 1. Maybe you may confuse few things, but if I complete day 2 also, you will get better clarity. Okay. Tell me guys, any questions?
It's not that clear, Veera. We'll practice today and we'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay. What about others?
Yes, we are good, Veera.
Okay. So just allow me for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I will give better clarity in the paint now. Okay. Just 5 minutes. I will give the clarity here. Okay. So total 2 developers are there. Okay. So here remote repository is there in GitHub. So now, you these 2 developers need to work with this remote repository only. This is complete project repository. Okay. So this developer is joined today into the office. New person. So first he need to set up a call with team lead. So definitely you can ask, so can you please share any content what you guys are developed till now? So I need to check and I can understand. So simply you can say, so we have a repository. You can check it. You can clone it. Okay. So once he confirmed this is the URL, this is the GitHub account, this is the project. Okay. Simply he need to clone this project into his local. While cloning time, he need to create any directory for his understanding. You can create any directory name for local for your understanding. So in this case, first he need to run git clone. Whenever you can run this command, everything will update into your local laptop. Now you can start your practice. You are not supposed to work directly into the remote repository. Take the code into local and work here. If all good means you can push your code here. So here my code is 1, 2, 3 lines. Code is there. 3 lines of code is there. While you clone time. So whenever you clone 1, 2, 3 will update here. So in your local laptop, 1, 2, 3 is updated. Now you have added 4. So you need to add any changes, right? Already till here we are completed. So you need to develop from here. So, okay, finally you have implemented something here. Line number 4, update 4. These changes you need to push. Otherwise, in his end, still 1, 2, 3 is there. This guy is saying that we have already developed a code till 1, 2, 3. And we have pushed this code into remote repository. What happened before? I'm saying that. Okay. 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 Otherwise, leave it. So now what he need to do? The changes 4 he has added, right? These changes he need to push into GitHub remote repository, right? After that, he can set up a call. So I have added some changes. Fourth line, you can check if it is okay, means all are good. Okay. In this case, so we have to follow some stages, right? So first, is it possible to send directly fourth change to remote repository by using git push? It is not possible. So we have to follow the stages is what? First, I need to add into staging area. And next, I need to add into local repository. If you follow these steps only, Git can understand the tracking. And even if you try to push, it will not accept. Local repository. Okay, this is working copy. Okay, once you add into staging area by using git add command, and from here to here, once you add into local repository, by using git commit. Okay, and if you give the git push command, so it will push directly. Push only local repository files only, not for entire working copy files. Git push. So he is able to push the changes. The reason he's already working with the project document, project repository. So directly the changes will update project only. Now 1, 2, 3 already there, right? 4 will update. Okay, 4 will update. Next, this developer and already this project is there. He is the old employee. Okay, he is not new person. He is the old person. In his end, already 1, 2, 3 is there before. So you can understand he is a team leader, whatever he's assigned the task. Now, if he give the git pull command, this 4 will update in his local laptop. I mean working copy. No need to run git to clone command. The reason is already cloned before, long ago. He's going to add the change. He's going to append the changes, update the changes from remote to local. In this case, he can run only git pull, not required git clone. Again, new developer has joined in your team. In his end, there is no project repository. Definitely, he need to again run git clone. Okay, git clone is one-time job. After that, you can give git push, git pull, git push, git pull, like that only. Now, both and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. Now, again, if he going to add 5, same process, staging area, local repository, git push, same process in his end also. So if he's added 5 now, okay, if he's added 5 now this developer and 1, 2, 3, 4 is only there, right? Now he's no need to run git clone. He can run simply git pull. The reason already remote repository there in his working copy. If he's run git pull, system can understand local repository. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 is only there, but remote and 5 is there. Immediately this 5 will update into your local repository. So what we can understand, every time you need to run git pull. In this case, you are up to date like that. So this is git pull, git push, git clone. Clear now? Still any questions?
Yes, we right.
Okay. So all are clear or any questions? Others,
Yeah,
please.
clear, Veera.
Okay.
It's clear, sir.
So, okay, what you need to do first today, create a GitHub account. create a GitHub account. Okay. So tomorrow, please make it ready this account so that we can start our practice. So GitHub sign up. So join GitHub. Okay, it is taking me my GitHub. Create an account on GitHub. Okay, I will create in different incognito so that it will not take. GitHub sign up. Sign up. So here you can start your sign up process. Give your email ID. So you will get some even one OTP kind of thing. You can confirm it and it will ask some questions, general questions. You can just answer it. Okay. So this user email is a login credential of username. And after that, finally, it will ask to set up a password. The password and this email is help to log in your GitHub account. So make it ready your GitHub account for tomorrow. So just simply sign up of GitHub. It's a very easy process to create so that we can start parallelly create one project in the remote repository. We can clone it and start our practice. Okay, clear?
Clear.
Yes, Veera. Yes, Veera.
Okay, so I will share the comments what I've discussed into the WhatsApp. Please start the practice. Okay, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.